you anyway. And then we had the corrected version of the numbers, which went down to about 22,
no,
24,000.
they were the names of people. They were the ones they could put a name to. They don't know how many people are lying in rubble still. They've no idea. People have been killed.
We know how many,
people have been killed in gigantic numbers week in, week out. You know that, and I know that. I've interviewed doctors. I've interviewed doctors in hospitals saying.
Just imagine the people back in the day when they would have to travel certain distances for months or even years. What is one thing that they would carry with them? The Quran. Why? Because they did not have it on their mobile devices or their gadgets. Brothers and sisters, imagine you have an app, the Qurani app, which not only shows you how much rewards you get, but reminds you to read the Quran, gives you reminders. Download the Qurani app now and let it testify for you on Yawm al-Qiyamah that you read it wherever you was.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Piers Morgan has become pro-Palestinian all of a sudden. Overnight, subhanAllah, brothers and sisters. We're going to be reacting in this video, inshallah, to one Zionist, shameless woman, a witch. She looks like a witch, and subhanAllah, a pro-Palestinian activist who is having a debate, inshallah, on this topic, inshallah. And oddly, Piers Morgan is pro-Palestinian today. Okay, let's see. Let's find out, inshallah. Here's the video, inshallah. Let's get straight into it, brothers and sisters, inshallah.
You seem to be a little obsessed with this.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with how many civilians are being killed.
All right, let's say we take the so-called Gaza Health Ministry's numbers, the corrected version. Do you remember what that is now?
That was the number of people they could actually put a name to, right?
The corrected
they could put a name
version.
to.
So we went.
And you think that's the total number of civilians killed?
The last time I was on your show, you had Barghouti saying that there was 40, 50, 60,000 dead. Let's just add numbers on, because why not? Everybody will believe you anyway. And then we had the corrected version of the numbers, which went down to about 22,
no, they were the names of people. They were the ones they could put a name to. They don't know how many people are lying in rubble still. They've no idea. People have been killed.
We know how many,
people have been killed in gigantic numbers week in, week out. You know that, and I know that. I've interviewed doctors. I've interviewed doctors in hospitals saying 500 people are being brought in every single day. But what staggers me, Fleur, what staggers me is that you, like the government spokesman I interviewed, you are certain you know exactly how many terrorists you're killing, but you've no idea how many civilians. Let me bring you Wajah.
How big they are.
I mean, it's amazing, subhanAllah. You know the way she makes it seem as if the numbers are being wrong, apparently, according to her, because anything that comes out, objective news, is false. It's as if it was like the numbers were 230, and then the Hamas members came and said only 200-300 Palestinians killed, and they made it out to be 40, 50,000, 100, 200-fold. Oh yeah, she's saying, oh, it's 22,000 or something like that. And you can clearly see, brothers and sisters, that is because that is the people that I've got named to. Nobody knows how many people are under the rubble. Have you guys seen Gaza? Have you seen the image of Gaza? Imagine how many people are still under the rubble. You shameless dirtbags, you Zionists. This is the end. This is the beginning of the end for Israel, inshallah. Let's carry on.
This is my problem with when I get into numbers with the Israeli side, is that they seem to be utterly emphatic in their knowledge of how many terrorists they're killing, but no idea how many civilians, and almost don't care. It's the fog of war. Churchill didn't count.
The fog of war was used by the UN, not us. When they were
asking Wajah. Sorry,
when they were justifying the wrong numbers.
You could let him speak,
that
please.
That was their expression.
Let him speak. Let him speak, please.
And again, once again, they know exactly how many terrorists they killed. Apparently, remember at one point they were saying half of those 50,000 that's massacred, half of them are Hamas. Bullcrap. Absolute nonsense. They know how many terrorists they killed, but they don't know how many civilians.
It's not that they almost don't care, Piers. It's that they don't care. And we know that the number is probably higher than 36,000 people killed. You and I have eyes. The world has eyes. We have seen Rafah get bombed. We have seen the charred bodies. We have seen Israel bomb churches, mosques, refugee camps. We have seen Israel kill the staff of World Central Kitchen and then say, oops. We have seen Israel occupy Palestinians in the West Bank. There's no Hamas in the West Bank. What's Israel's excuse for killing over 500 people in the West Bank? With Ben-Gvir handing out, excuse me, with Ben-Gvir handing out weapons to extremist settlers.
You're
listen,
if you think
of course you know, but you...
Exactly, there is no Hamas in the West Bank, and they are still killing people in the West Bank. They still do not give them their rights, as you can see, subhanAllah. So brothers and sisters, these people are just, no shame. Like the Prophet ﷺ said, if you have no shame, do as you please. And that's exactly what they're doing. But only in this life, in the Yom Qiyamah, on the Day of Judgment, you're going to see, inshallah. You are going to see, like Allah says in Surah Mutafifin, the believers will be sitting on reclining chairs and laughing back at them and seeing if they are being paid back for what they have done.
But to you, can I just say, but to you, Hamas doesn't control the West Bank. Facts, please. But to you, every Palestinian is a terrorist. You don't care about the women. You don't care about the children. You don't care about the majority of people that have been killed are civilians. To you, it's all terrorists.
4 years. You don't
this
know
is
anything.
the
you just
okay, but
I
can judge you by. Can I just finish? I let you. I didn't say a word.
Can you let him finish his point?
I didn't say a word.
Keep talking over him, Fleur. Let him finish his point.
He's lying.
First of all, okay.
Well, he listened to you. So let him speak.
This is what I say is she represents the general psychopathy of the Israeli government, where they come on television and they think the rest of the world actually is like them, that they don't see Palestinians as humans, and they say these talking points. And Piers, sometimes when you invite me to debate, I sit here and go, I don't have to say a word, because they're undermining themselves and their own cause in front of the global stage right now. I mean, the fact that she knows, but like somehow magically, they're all terrorists, but when you ask them repeatedly, well, how can you not know how many civilians there are? And they say, well, we don't know. What civilians? And then she goes to World War II, compares Palestinian moms and children to Germans, to Nazis. Okay, fine. Go for it.
That is so valid, because in Israel, they don't see Palestinians as humans. That's why you see podcast people saying, if I could press the button and wipe out Gaza, I would do that. Generally, inside Israel, they do not see Palestinian babies. You've seen your general layman Israeli Zionists mocking the deaths, literally mocking people who are dying and being massacred. They don't see Palestinians as humans. Not only that, she's equating the Nazi Germany, the World War II. The real Nazis are you guys. You are the real Nazis. You guys are the real Nazis. And you are equating the Palestinians to be Nazis. You can't make this up. The irony, you are the real Nazis. That's been recorded in 4K, HD. The whole world can see what kind of vile Zionist scums you guys are.
Talking about mosques, and you're talking about churches, and you're talking about schools, and you fail to mention that that's exactly where Hamas hide. Not just that, they build mosques on top of tunnels, on top of terrorist installations. You want to ignore the fact that Hamas are cynically using their own people. They use their people as a defense strategy. They're using our hostages
so
as
Israel
a defense
bombs
strategy.
Rafah and kills kids?
So
Israel bombs World Central Kitchen staff?
Israel bombed 2 terrorists. A kilometer away, there was a fire that was made by munitions that were in a place that they shouldn't have been. And that
actually, you don't know all that.
There is
you don't know that. That's not been established as fact.
There is an ongoing investigation.
Sorry, that's not.
Now,
sorry.
But all I know is
again to correct you, Fleur. That has not.
You don't know what happened either.
No, nor do you. So you accept you don't.
We are at the moment investigating.
Sorry, you just accepted you don't.
We know that it was a kilometer away from where
you just said you didn't know what happened either. In other words, nor do you.
No, we are doing an investigation.
Right, it's not concluded. So how can you say these things are facts?
And then,
bear in mind, she just said Piers called her out. Finally, Piers. But again, listen, you're not on the right side of history, by the way, my friend. Yeah, just because we're speaking out about it now. Let me tell you something. He called her out. She doesn't know. She's chatting nonsense. When they called out, she actually doesn't know. She's acted as she knows. Now she's being called out by Piers that she doesn't know. Look what she says next. Check this out.
The only fact,
Piers can ask them why did Netanyahu apologize?
If I may finish, Fleur, if I may finish, the only fact is that 45 innocent people in the refugee camps were killed at the same time as apparently 2 Hamas terrorists. I don't call that a very good percentage, do you?
No, but it wasn't a strategy, and it is not.
But when you bomb a refugee camp, that is a strategy. When you bomb a refugee camp, it is a strategy.
We did not bomb a refugee camp. We bombed 2
who are in a refugee camp.
They were a kilometer away from the humanitarian
zone. They were
zone.
in a refugee camp.
They were in a kilometer away from the humanitarian zone.
In a refugee camp.
Where we moved people in order to put
them.
You
moved them there, and then you killed them.
Hamas keeps them in harm's way. When babies were baked in ovens on October 7th, that was a strategy. When Israel tries to weed out the terrorists, and there are unfortunately casualties, it's not a strategy. That is not what we aim to do.
Those casualties are beheaded babies in Rafah.
Really?
Yes,
that bomb
really.
dropped in Rafah tent.
I saw a beheaded baby
and
that
babies
night.
were beheaded.
It was horrific.
Babies, what absolute lie! They're still spewing the same lie, and she calls him a liar. They are spewing the same lie of babies being killed and raping that happened, and the 1,200 people died. It died because of your Hannibal directive. Your own soldiers have admitted that, you scum, you shameless individual. How shameless do you have to be? SubhanAllah. And now Piers is speaking after 50,000 people died. But look, check this out now. Watch. Remember she said about the beheaded baby? Look, she's not really beheaded baby. She's shocked now. Oh, really? Did that really happen? You know? Check this out now. Watch how she denied about it not happening. Watch this now.
That's what happened in Rafah. Really? And you know why they went to Rafah, Piers?
So, hang on. Fleur, just to be clear, are you denying that there were any video footage of a baby beheaded?
I have not seen anything.
Really?
And I know that the Israeli army would never do anything like that.
She's seen anything. Look, listen to me, guys. She has not seen anything. Remember she's talking about the baked babies, etc., in the October the 7th, etc.? She didn't see nothing. She would confirm it without seeing it. Lies were made. Here, she's like, no, I haven't seen it. Watch this now.
No, sorry, the baby's head was blown off.
Oh, okay. Listen, when
it's
there's
killed
a bomb...
36,000 Palestinians.
Oh, okay. Can you imagine how she's brushing off? Okay. Is that because she thought actual beheading means, but beheading that happens? No, she's like, it got blown off. Oh, that's fine. That's me thinking IDF soldiers behead babies. Not that way. We behead in different ways. We blow their brains out. May Allah destroy you.
Fire that raged through that refugee camp did that damage to that baby.
Was absolutely, and it was tragic.
But it's going to happen again and again if you bomb people in a refugee camp.
Well, we weren't aiming to bomb people in a refugee camp.
But you are going to kill them if you keep dropping bombs in a refugee camp, aren't you?
Did you see? She now admitted. First, denied it. Then accepted she doesn't know. Now she's like, oh yeah, it happens, casualty. Do you see what kind of liars they are? So what kind of liars they are?
Let me ask you this.
We left the Palestinian leadership to their own devices.
Let me ask you this.
Look what happens.
Let me ask you this.
Look what happens.
Fleur, please stop talking. If I'm asking a question, my question is this. My question is this. If there's no occupation, how is it that at the start of this war, Israel was able to turn off a lot of the water into Gaza, a lot of the food into Gaza, a lot of the energy into Gaza? If you're not an occupying country, how are you able to do that to another country?
A blockade is not an occupation.
What is it?
A blockade is not an occupation.
What is it?
Legally, a blockade is
What is it?
Well, first of all, there was trade going on between Gaza and Israel before October 7th. We gave out 20,000 work permits. People were working all across.
Why are Palestinians not entitled to the same rights as Israelis?
They have their own state.
They don't have the rights of Israelis. Why not?
Because they're not Israelis.
Okay. Well, that's pretty conclusive.
Thank you.
They're not Israelis.
Okay.
They left in
Sometimes,
2005.
you know what?
Look,
sometimes it's good to shine a light because you get the right answer.
No, let me tell you what light I'm shining.
The brother's going to point out, is Israel winning this war? No, and losing on all grounds. Watch this now.
I want to just say, those who are supporting the war like she is, here's the failure of Netanyahu's war, very quickly. Netanyahu said he wants to destroy Hamas. Hamas is not destroyed. Failure number one. Netanyahu says he wants the hostages back. The family members of the hostages are protesting Netanyahu because they know he doesn't care. Failure number two. He says he wants to make Israel safer. Israel's not safer. He wants to make the region safer. The region's not safer. He wants to help Israel's reputation. Israel's a pariah. Military solutions will not work. People like your guest right now think they could put the boot on the neck of Palestinians, create a symmetry where there is none, occupy people, and people resist that occupation and just die. Like they're just going to die. They're not. If you want an end, if you want peace, stop the occupation and give Palestinians a pathway towards self-determination. And if there should be two states, Piers, riddle me this. Why is Israel expanding settlements in the West Bank? What excuse is it? Please give us the excuse why Israel is occupying the West Bank and expanding settlements.
I couldn't agree more. Fleur, why on earth does Israel think it's a good idea to expand settlements on the West Bank?
Well, first of all, you have to understand the context that Area A and B, which is where 94% of the Palestinians live, are under the PA autonomy. The fact that they haven't developed their own economy, the fact that they don't give people anything, the fact that East Jerusalem...
That's not the question. The question is why expand settlements knowing it is deeply inflammatory and often accompanied by violence? Why?
Because the settlements are not the obstacle to a two-state solution.
Actually, they're one of the major obstacles, actually, yeah.
They're not.
Because if you keep seizing land
they're taking
with
up all the land.
settlers who are violent towards Palestinians, that is an obstacle. Yeah, it is.
Not only the increase in the settlements, brothers and sisters, Ben Gavir, this dirtbag, may Allah destroy him in this heaven hereafter, says 10,000 assault rifles purchased for civilian security teams. He's been giving out rifles and weapons to these individuals who are abusing the Palestinians, Muslims and Christians, by the way, who are living in Palestine, brothers and sisters. SubhanAllah. So, I mean, the main point here is this. Piers Morgan finally, after 50,000 deaths of Palestinians, when it came to the Ukrainian thing, when Russia killed a couple of hundred, etc., he was automatically genocide, you name it. But when it comes to Palestinians, the death toll has to be higher, 50,000. Now Piers Morgan is now pro-Palestinian. Now we don't buy it, my friend. We don't buy it. You are on their side. You are not on our side. And this video is to show that now you want to come and talk. Shame on you. Shame on you. Brothers and sisters, if you want more videos like this, send them to me, inshallah. I can react and dissect them for you, inshallah, brothers and sisters. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you guys and protect our brothers and sisters in Gaza and forgive us for our shortcomings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.